Hey, everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Wednesday, September 7th, 2016. I'm your host, Alexander Coffey, today joined by the infallible, infamous, famous Donald Terrio. Hello, Donald.
Hi, I didn't realize that this week's show was actually going to be a side project of MacBreak Weekly.
Yeah, this is one of those surprise Nintendo News
Yeah,
reports. Neal
that was
Ronahan's other person.
weird. That was weird. Like I was just
Yeah.
like checking my phone, and I had a former editor on the site, Dave Mellor, tweeted at me being like, "Miyamoto's on stage. It's the Apple thing," and I'm like, "Oh, what?" That was weird.
That was weird because it was like in the video game spot in Alex's head was like, all right, we got the Pokemon news, and then today I get to see that Sony press conference. We get to see the Neo, and then that was fucking weird. And then it turns out a lot of the interesting news came out of an Apple presser.
I mean, that's happened before, just not usually with Nintendo.
It's not usually with Nintendo. Okay, so the big thing is. Nintendo does this thing where once in a while they'll just announce a Mario game at a press conference where you don't think a Mario game would be. Like when they announced Super Mario 3D Land so many years ago, just at a random keynote. Which keynote was it? Not Gamescom. It was.
Was that a GDC one?
That might have been GDC. Yeah, but
Or
I
was
just
it like with Super Mario 3D.
Yeah, that was just dropped on us. So Super Mario Run was announced at the Apple's iPhone 7 conference. Shigeru Miyamoto appeared on stage to debut Super Mario Run. It's expected to launch on we know for a fact it's launching on iOS first, and it's launching this holiday, expected in December.
Yeah, December is the date or like the month that they've thrown out. I think it was holiday at the actual press conference. The press release says December.
Right, which is something Nintendo has a tendency to do, is saying holiday, but then have a specific date later that day. The base game, it's a runner. It actually looks like Nintendo's take on the Rayman running games.
Oh yeah, totally.
Where it's an endless runner, except there's verticality to it, and also it's level based. It's Rayman Jungle Run, etc. Yeah, Donald.
Yeah. You're basically, instead of controlling Mario as he runs, you're doing light taps for smaller jumps and holding down a little longer for bigger jumps.
Rayman thing also.
Yeah.
So
those are great games, by the way. If you haven't played like the Rayman Jungle Run, Fiesta Run, etc., I think there's 2 or 3 more,
well
including one free to play. They're actually really good. Yeah.
It's weird. I got into some talks on the Twitters with people about this, and like my immediate reaction to Super Mario Run is kind of negative, but that's only because it's like, well, no shit, that's what they would do, and it's not like you said. There's a Rayman game that basically did what they're doing before, and despite the fact that it did come out in the Time interview that made me want to call this NNR. That apparently the development team's very small, and it's a lot of the people who worked in the original Super Mario Brothers. So it's Tezuka and Miyamoto working on a small project with a small team, which is incredible. But this is what they're making. It's new Super Mario Brothers, but you don't stop.
Except you do, which is supposed to be their creative take on it. But then someone else also did the take of an endless runner where you do stop, but you don't stop, but you do stop. This game's kind of silly. It's kind of.
It looks like you can go backwards a little bit. Like they showed in the little footage that they put out there. There's a moment where you go to an area and then you can backflip up and then get coins at a higher point.
Right, which is a really great mechanic in the Rayman iPhone games.
I love how it's gonna come out after the game comes out. Michel Ancel actually worked with Miyamoto on this game.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did actually get support from the Rayman Jungle Run team. That would actually be really fucking cool.
You see the credits are just a bunch of French dudes, and you're like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah. So just checking here. I'm pretty sure this is the case. Nobody on here has an iPhone as of now, right?
I have an iPad.
I have my wife's old iPhone. She just got a new one. It's like an iPhone 4, but it ran Miitomo fine, so I'm hopeful.
Okay. because I know I won't be able to play this until at least Christmas, and that's if my dad's iPad 2 can actually run this thing, which
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know.
It probably will. I don't see why not. Nintendo likes hitting the most people possible. And if
Yeah.
it's anything like Miitomo, well, actually, we could probably look at what the Miitomo requirements are. I'll look that up now. But
But I mean, going in that, like, Nintendo's gonna mass market this thing. This isn't gonna be like it's only running on iPhone 7. Like, it's gonna work on everything they can possibly make it work for. This is a mass market game.
right,
Yeah, it's
And-
not, and part of that I think is why it's iPhone first, because it's a little easier to test for a few devices than to test for 25 billion devices.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I've heard that from mobile developers constantly, that iOS is just more friendly to work with because it's like the iPhones, the iPads, the iPod Touches or whatever, and that's it. Whereas Android phones, it's like literally every other type of smartphone from infinite phone makers.
right. Compatibility requires iOS 7 or later, compatible with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. That's all this. That's all the web page for Miitomo says. I'm guessing
Yeah.
it's probably going to be a relatively low standard for compatibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
And it
I
is-
remember there was a pretty decent size requirement list for it for Mario Run as it stands, because you can actually be notified when it's on the apps, when it goes live on the App Store, which I think is the first time Apple's ever done this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So just
And it's coming to Android later. It's just iOS first.
Yep,
Someone asked
iOS
that.
first, Android later. Brianpo. There's the answer to your question. The other thing we want to talk about. Oh, well, the only thing I want to say is that even though it's New Super Mario Bros., which a lot of people have been giving it shit about, I actually am kind of down for another taste of New Super Mario Bros.
Dude, just wait until $2.99. You can make it skin like Super Mario Brothers 3. Only if you have enough energy.
Yeah.
And you can buy energy if you want to.
So did you guys see that trailer that they had kicking around where it was like, well, it wasn't a trailer, it was just 50 seconds of footage, and
Yeah.
it seemed like there were multiple types of coins.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is,
I wonder what those will be used for.
Yeah.
Free to play in-app purchases.
they'll probably make it way easier though to like not have to do it than other games, but there will obviously be a bunch of free to play shit. And then also mechanically, I don't know if you guys noticed this, Mario can climb stuff now. It's not
he's got
climbing,
some parkour.
but the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze style.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's.
I think
yeah.
Donald might be having microphone issues.
No,
Donald's
I'm
having
back.
like-
Okay.
It froze for a moment, but I'm good now.
Okay, cool. So that's Super Mario Run. Let's see if we got anything in the chat.
Well, I'm curious. Are either of you guys excited for this game?
I'm optimistic. I'm gonna buy it, not just because of this website, but because like I think the game's in good hands, and I want to see what a Nintendo take on the Rayman running games, which are the best. Like, it's normally the opposite way around. I know.
I know. Usually it's like, I want Rayman Legends because it seemed like Ansel was inspired by Miyamoto. Now it's the other way around.
But no, those are among the best mobile games out there.
Yeah,
so
no,
if Nintendo has
actually,
yeah.
I'm gonna download one of them.
There's a free one actually. Or like a free to play one. I would just look up Rayman and then download the free ones.
No, I'll be here.
I think
Yeah.
obviously I don't have an iPhone. I don't plan on getting one anytime soon. So I'm tempering my excitement for the actual game itself for now, but I am very excited to see what this does for Nintendo's bottom line. And hopefully lets them do some riskier things, like, I don't know, give the NX a spec bump or something.
Right. The stock of Nintendo obviously got its bump. TR Brody said it's a runner, bring your expectations down to that level, and I will disagree with you there because the reason why endless runners get a bad rap outside of the free-to-play mechanics is the fact that there's no actual level design in a traditional runner. So there's nothing interesting in it, and it's all procedurally generated. But when it's a runner like this, you actually get level design. You actually get effort put into it, which makes it, I think, at least a 50% different situation.
I mean, for me, I think Endless Runner is kind of a misnomer here. Like, I guess, I mean, for me, Endless Runner always connotates like it's a high score game where it just keeps on going, and I guess that the idea of endless running could also playing to the fact, even if it's level-based, the dude's always moving. But for me, like, I don't know, it's weird. I would say it's more a runner than an endless runner, but that might just be semantics.
Yeah.
Like a bit trip runner instead of.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. I wish I could just focus on that way more. That like this is like bit trip runner, and not like this is on a bunch of crap that I've played on mobile before.
Yeah. Brody follows up and says there still won't be anything interesting about hitting the screen. There won't be any difficulty. Pro tip: it's going to be crap. I think Nintendo knows how to make easy games that are also fun at the same time. That's the only thing I'll say.
They've done that with like every new Super Mario Brothers game.
It's like New Super Mario Bros. 2, even though it got a little crap, I actually kind of remember that game semi-fondly now.
I think I have a review written that it was pretty fondly when I played that game. I enjoyed that a lot. I like it a lot better than the first DS game, that's for sure.
Yeah. Matthew Kelly also asks, hey, NWR, what do you think of the Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing app? What will it be like on the upcoming Apple Store? I think we might get an actual turn-based RPG for Fire Emblem, but I don't know about Animal Crossing. RPG for Fire Emblem. Animal Crossing might literally be a slightly streamlined Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of disappointed in, because with the announcement of Super Mario Run, which I totally get why Nintendo would, if you had Super Mario Run ready for holiday 2017, you put it out in holiday 2016, you put it out in holiday 2016, especially with the Pokemon and a lot of hot nonsense that they have for the rest of the year. Like that's brilliant. Imagine like a week where it's Super Mario Run on your iOS, and then like, oh yeah, you can get Super Mario Maker on 3DS too, or Super Mario Maker on Wii U. Like, and all three of those games will have creation elements as well. Because I believe that you're able to make your own levels in Super Mario Run. Was that just hearsay?
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, the coins that you earn can be somehow converted into making your own level.
Okay, cool. But like, I mean, Super Mario Run is very much low-hanging fruit. I'm really curious to see what the hell these Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing games are, and I'm bummed out that we're not going to find out what they are until probably either late this year, and we're not going to be playing them until early next year.
Right. You don't think there's a chance we hear about them on Animal Crossing Direct at all?
I think we'll probably hear about the Animal Crossing mobile game there. But I think for me, like, if that Fire Emblem mobile game is kind of like where I can do, oh god, I'm blanking on the term, but like if I took a turn and then you can take a turn at your leisure.
Play by mail?
Yeah, I guess I think there's a better term for than that, but I'm just blanking on it. But if that's what the Fire Emblem game is, I will play this Fire Emblem game forever. I have a lot of friends that I have already talked about that, like, if this is what this Fire Emblem game is, it'll be incredible. And that Animal Crossing game, just, give me some way that I can play with Animal Crossing New Leaf or Animal Crossing NX through that game on my phone, and I will play that a lot as well.
Yeah. Cool.
I think that what struck me the most on this is that I've got some people that I know that are into the Apple rumor sphere, and I mentioned MacBreak Weekly. I listen to that every week, so I kind of have a high level view of what the Apple rumor mill looks like. Nobody called this, and I mean nobody. I think the last time my Twitter blew up that way was when Iwata died.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the dude from the Wall Street Journal. I'm blanking on his name. I'm not remembering names right now. The dude from the Wall Street Journal who's been talking a lot about the NX, like, tweeted after this being like, I had no idea about that one.
Nice. And it sounds like there could be a possibility, though, just from the marketing standpoint, where if we got this Mario app in December, we got Super Mario Maker 3DS in December, and if we do get the NX reveal with a little Mario trailer, maybe even in September or later, but before December, that could make for a nice little Super Mario Direct in early December.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean, we do know that the Super Mario game does exist on NX, although there was some stuff coming out of the Time magazine article, the interview with Miyamoto, which I made the comment just a few moments ago about how it'd be cool if the Animal Crossing mobile game played with the NX or 3DS versions of Animal Crossing. I think that there's something that could be read into that the interview with Miyamoto that says that probably won't happen, because there's a question directly about like will Super Mario Run and the other mobile games tie into Miitomo or the NX in any way? And Miyamoto gives an answer basically saying that they're not going to tie in their games on their platform with games on another platform because they can't guarantee the longevity of another platform.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to make their games dependent on like that. Like I don't think there's going to be a major feature in the Animal Crossing NX game where you work with the Animal Crossing mobile game. Maybe a bonus. There was a comment that third mode in Super Mario Run where you're like using the coins that you made to build up the Mushroom Kingdom, that the data there might be able to be used in a future game, but that's kind of all they hinted at.
Right, and then that could just be like amiibo level functionality at best of like here's this bonus.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, and then in the Time interview with Miyamoto, he said that because of a combination of development time and market conditions, and I should note that market conditions is the official buzzword of 2016, that would mean only 4 mobile titles will release by March 2017. Miitomo, Super Mario Run, Animal Crossing, and Fire Emblem. I still bet there's a chance one of those gets pushed past March.
Why would it not? We already had Miitomo got pushed like 6 months or whatever. Yeah. I guess 4. We've seen Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem already get pushed into the next year, and we've seen that mystery 5th game get pushed into the next year. Like, why would Animal Crossing or Fire Emblem not just get delayed again?
Right. Yeah. I don't think there's, because here, think about the way they've been doing the mobile games. You got Mario in December, which means there probably won't be anything in January, which means it'll probably be late January, early February, and then are you going to launch one game in February and one game in March?
Along with the NX?
Along with the NX? Like that sounds crazy.
I wonder if market conditions refers to, oh crap, we put so many developers on the NX that we probably can't do 5 mobile games in 12 months.
It's crazy because they've got like their fucking A-team working on the mobile games. Sakamoto worked on Miitomo. Miyamoto and Tezuka are working on Super Mario Run. I believe Hideki Kano is like the head of the mobile department. Like,
and I think
that's a lot of top brass.
Yeah. I think Kano was on stage and he was like third banana for Nintendo at the Apple conference today.
I mean, he was like that. Yeah, I saw like a lot of pictures circulating on Twitter of like people taking pictures, being like, "I'm with Miyamoto and Trinan," and Kano's in the picture smiling, and you're just like, "I'm sorry, bro. Like, you're really cool. I like you a lot, but no one else has any idea who you are."
Yeah.
Use that to your advantage and wander around E3 like Tezuka does.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. As that Super Mario Run, let's be optimistic, I guess. Pokemon Go. Is it what else can you say? Let's be optimistic, I guess. It's Super Mario Run. That is the fairest thing to say.
They need to put out that update for Pokemon Go where like nearby is not garbage. I booted it up for the first time in a while, and like I got super deep into Pokemon Go to probably an unhealthy degree. And once they took away the footsteps and they took down all the third-party apps that helped me circumvent not having any footsteps, it just kind of made the game, especially when you're later on in it, really crappy because you just aimlessly wander around hoping that you'll come across a Pokemon. There's no way to track Pokemon. It just like it kind of sucks. It's way more of a crapshoot. It's not that enjoyable. And I guess for like almost a month now, I think more than a month, they've been testing a new way to do nearby, I believe in just the San Francisco Bay Area, where like they work in Pokestops to show you where Pokemon are. And I wish that would go wide, but instead they're going to put in a buddy system.
Which basically means you have a main Pokemon who can come with you, or in the same way like a Pikachu with Ash or a Soul Silver type thing. Like that's their equivalent where you can pick your main Pokemon, and then by keeping it with you, there are certain bonuses extending all the way to Candy. And then the other thing is that the game will now give you tips when challenging a gym, which will basically say, here's how you can perform most advantageously. So there's a little Pokemon Go update. Also, it's coming to Apple Watch and also downloaded 500 million times, which is fucking berserk.
That's a lot. Yeah, do you think it'll hit 1 billion by year's end?
No, I think it'll hit 600 million. I think we've seen the most of it, unless it hasn't launched in China and then does launch in China. if they do like China and India and like Russia all at the same time, which I'm sure one of those is already active, but like if that's the thing they do, then that makes sense. There's no enormous new audience for Pokemon Go to uncover unless they make a whole new game, basically.
Yeah,
which will probably happen next year when they add the next set of Pokemon.
Yeah, and Eastern Asia is very, very strict with how mapping data can be used, which is why you can only basically play Pokemon Go in one little village in South Korea. Which is
good to know.
And that village is playing it to the hilt. Like they are a full vacation spot.
Oh, there's I'm sorry to just go to something else, but I was reading, because I'm not much of an Apple guy, but I was still just reading up on what was actually announced today. And I was reading the New York Times article called "The iPhone 7 and Wireless Headphones Analyzing Apple's Announcements." And then they did a big table round picture. And the quote I want to read is the one related to Nintendo, which it was Brian from New York Times. In another nod to software, Mr. Cook said Super Mario is coming to the App Store. Nintendo, the struggling video game company. That's literally all I have to say, is just how, like, as the way they describe Nintendo is Nintendo, the struggling video game company, long refused to offer its games and franchise characters on mobile devices, but the company recently did a 180 with Pokemon Go as a recent example. Oh my fucking god!
Did
that's
they
just
not
wrong. That's just
Nintendo.
I'm pretty sure that notice they put out that tanked their stock by 20% is still on the front page of their investor relations if you bother to do 5 seconds of research.
Yep.
You know what's so crazy is just as three people like we are who are so deeply invested in like some very niche specific facet of enthusiast press, seeing the actual like big boy, big girl, everybody press like the New York Times attempting to cover Nintendo like makes you feel like you're like reading the work of people I went to school with as recently as 6 months ago.
Yeah, dude, that's why I love that like Nintendo is just buddied up with Time, because I think it's Matt Peckham is the name of the writer who's been doing a lot of that Nintendo stuff over there, and he actually knows his shit, and it's pretty fantastic that there's a big outlet with someone who actually gives a damn about like knowing what's going on with Nintendo.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, that's all we got to say about that. But speaking of Pokemon, transitioning into our final thing. We're actually making great time, so we have a little bit of time to talk about Pokemon. And then also just another thing, because I'm gonna forget, is if anyone's interested in Phoenix Wright, my review is going to be up at 3 a.m. Pacific time.
3 a.m. Eastern, midnight Pacific, or
midnight Pacific. That's right.
Or basically, it'll be up when you get up in the morning.
Right. So roughly 5. Well, no, it's like 7 hours from now, 7-ish, 6.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess NWR review roundup.
Okay.
Next. Also, about noon tomorrow, you can read Matt West's review of Jotun Valhalla Edition coming to the Wii U eShop as part of their Nindy Summer Jam. Next week, on September 13th, you can read Brian Rose's review of Dragon Quest VII. On September 15th, you'll be able to read my review of Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. I think that's it.
And that you should also be able to read my review of
Noitu Love Devolution, which is a palindrome. Which took me a while to figure that one out, because I don't know what the hell Noitu means, and when I now know that it means that this is a palindrome.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, NintendoWorldReport.com, and then we're going to say it again at the end of the show, Patreon.com/NWR, where you can see lots of great content and also support the site.
Yeah, and you can participate in the NWR Hall of Fame nomination process, which is getting really, really dumb. But
Yeah.
that's probably for another time.
Yeah. Okay. Pokemon Sun and Moon announces all sorts of stuff. This was yesterday, which you ever get like so buried deep in news that was yesterday you're convinced was like 7 days ago?
Yeah, it doesn't help that this was a short week because of
Yeah.
Labor Day. So like,
Right.
wait, that was yesterday? It feels like it was last weekend.
Right.
But
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Pokemon Snap is going to be in the game. There, you have it now.
It's going to be a
Well,
super
but it's
limited.
not real Pokemon Snap. Let's not put the cart before the horse here.
It's probably the developed reaction to everyone saying they want a new Pokemon Snap. This side mode is likely the result of all of that.
I would hope.
I'm
I
guessing.
would hope they heard us.
I'm guessing
There are dozens of us.
Yeah. So there is going to be a mode like that, and there are also a bunch of new Pokemon. This is definitely the weirdest Pokemon announcement that they've ever had, I'd say. They have Alolan Raticate, which is like a really bad-looking dark type Raticate, which is weird because the Rattata looked really, really good.
Raticate is fat.
Raticate is fat, both in the
He's
PH and F varieties.
He's fat.
They got Jangmo O, Jangmo-O, Pure Dragon with soundproof and bulletproof. I bet this is going to be the pseudo-legendary this time around, although that's a weird title. But it's not nearly 50% of the creature type names we got today were weirder than Jangmo O. First off, the first Pokemon that was revealed is named Type Null. Type : space Null, which looks like someone was like
Wait, whoa. The was it named Null? It's Type
No.
Wait,
it's
no.
not Null, it's Type : space Null.
What?
It looks like someone was editing a trailer together, and then like there was some glitch in the HTML or whatever they were
Maybe
doing.
that's what happened. And they're like, we published it. Shit, I guess we have to go with it.
Except in other languages, it means literally the same thing.
Oh, really?
Because it's basically an artificial Pokemon, except they jam together things that resemble existing Pokemon to make it.
Typo Nulu! A normal type, apparently. Which is like the weirdest thing, is that you would think they would be revealing like a new type, but it's just normal type. And it has the battle armor ability. It looks like a Chimera type, like someone tried to make Arceus and then ended up with an Abomination. Like they have like weird dragon claws, a weird Umbreon-like body, this crazy mask. It's a synthetic Pokemon. It has a super weird title. I wonder if they're trying to play into the missing no thing. Definitely not. But in the same way that you have that weird reaction when you see the name missing no, I get that with Type Null. Although this seems like the kind of Pokemon that would have really benefited from being a surprise when you play Pokemon Sun and Moon for the first time.
At
Surprises.
this point,
What are those?
yeah, at this point, I just have to figure that the stuff they don't reveal before the game comes out is just going to get even weirder.
Or it's going to be super depressing. Like those are the two options. Are either it's the best ever, and like there's like 150 new Pokemon, and they were just scratching the surface, and they're laughing at people like me who are complaining, or it's just they're revealing all of the game in the same way like a Ubisoft would do now, and they just think there's nothing wrong with that. Which almost seems like the more likely option. We'll see. Let's see what else there is. The side objectives for the game: you can attempt to rebuild Zygarde by collecting cubes and cores throughout Alola. There's the Poke Finder, which allows you to take pictures of Pokemon, where you can upload them to the internet for ratings. That's the Pokemon Snap type thing. Sun and Moon. Yes, go ahead.
You can also leave comments on those photos, so I'm looking for the opportunity to just put #skate4 and everything.
Uh, do you think that it'll be like Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, where you have to choose one word at a time from like 50 million different menus?
Well, they seem to have some preset options. Like one was literally, but I'm pretty sure that if there's any sort of freeformness, you'll just be able to type it out normally.
Right. There are version exclusives like Mischievous and Moon, Drifloon and Sun, but that's how all Pokemon games are. The cool, crazy thing is that Sun and Moon are taking place 12 hours apart from each other. Moon takes place 12 hours after Sun, meaning when it's daytime in real life and in Sun version, it will be nighttime in Moon, and vice versa, which is actually super cool. For if you were remembering the way people were talking about New Leaf, they're like, man, I really want to play Animal Crossing, but the only times I ever have to play it are in the very morning and at the very night, which seems like this is who Pokemon Moon is made for. People who have super focused jobs that they need to be at from 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, and they can only play at 10 and 6. Like that seems like that works really well.
Yeah. Or people who really want to abuse Dusk Balls.
Yeah. Another Team. There were just Team Skull stuff, and then there's also the Aether Foundation, a group of Pokemon preservationists who live on their own artificial island, and that's, I think, is it a Team Aether guy or a Team Skull guy who owns Type Null? Do you remember that?
I think it's the Type Skull guy they had introduced. Although I find it kind of scary in a way that the Aether Foundation has what appear to be grunts.
Yeah, which is real weird. And then there's the last thing we got to talk about, which is the weirdest thing of all, which is called the Ultra Beasts. And we know there are multiple ones because the only one we saw was this weird creature that doesn't look exactly like a Pokemon, but almost looks like this ultra mythical Pokemon called UB-01. And it's got this transparent jellyfish top with these stars, and it looks super cool and super weird. What's so weird about this is that the press releases aren't calling them Pokemon. It's not even referenced really in the press release. The website, it's not under the same section as Pokemon, and it doesn't look like a Pokemon. So you wonder if it actually is a Pokemon. And this calls back to, I think, Pokemon Black 2, White 2, when there were those robots you could fight as part of that like movie game that you could do.
Pokestar Studios.
Right, Pokestar Studios, and there were these robots you could fight that like actually did take place in the battle, but they weren't actual Pokemon. And I wonder if these are just creatures that are like artificial beasts that are going to be used exclusively for boss battles and can't be caught, which is actually fucking sick as I think about that, because it allows Pokemon to do like these super strong boss battles without allowing them to make ultra powerful Pokemon that break the game. Like you can make a Pokemon that switches weakness and has a life bar that's like 3 or 4 times a normal Pokemon, or even more than that. Like it would probably have to be more than that if you can find something that beats it. Like it might actually have to be much more than that. But if the Ultra Beasts are their effort at creating actual JRPG boss battles, that sounds crazy.
We'll have to wait and see how it goes, because they've flashed it on screen for a few seconds. Although this first Ultra Beast that they showed kind of looks like one of the characters that they've shown off, Lily. Maybe she's got some connection to them. Who knows?
Yeah, Matthew Kelly suggests as much. He says, "Hey NWR, do you think Lily, Team Skull, and Team Skull's Gladion and Aether Foundation's Lusamine be brothers, sisters, and brothers, and Gladion be a traitorous brother similar to Itachi Uchiha from the Naruto series?" Oh, I don't know. It's like I don't care that much about the Pokemon story. It's like I care enough to get through the game, but like the actual lore of Pokemon is not that crazy interesting to me once you get past Red as a Pokemon trainer. Like that's the first, like the lore related to Team Rocket and the initial 2 generations I care about, because those 2 got it right. I don't really care that much about the story in the new games when I don't even know who any of these characters are yet.
I agree. And with that, I'm gonna leave.
We're all gonna leave, Neal. We're all gonna
Okay.
leave. Okay. That's our show for this week. I'm actually glad we did it today. This worked out pretty well. Patreon.com/NWR. Support the website. Get content early. Get exclusive content. Cube Fight. That's a thing that exists.
Yeah, we'll have the next episode of NBA Courtside 2002 versus Eternal Darkness. It's out for Patreon or patrons, $2 or more a month, and it will be out for everybody like end of this week, early next.
Nice.
And might as well say this: October 15th, there's going to be the NWR telethon.
Yay!
So we're doing that. We'll have more details soon. We're working on the schedule. All three of us here will be a part of it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I think we're all on at least 2 segments at this point.
We'll say the schedule has not been done. It's just submissions right now.
Right. I've only submitted one. Well, we can talk about this off camera.
Yeah.
But that's that. And that's our show for this week. Donald Mick, DONALDMICK. That's at Donald Mick on Twitter. Neal's at NRON, the number 10, Enron10 on Twitter. I'm at CULAFIA. Kulafia. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.